Cheating. Walsh cheating scandal with 3 women? Exposed text. Can a single whispered promise sealed in the shadows of a stadium tunnel unravel the empire of a man who once commanded the roar of millions? The lights of Lincoln Financial Field blazed like Judgment Day, the turf still slick from an autumn downpour as the Philadelphia crowd, 70,000 strong, rose in a tidal wave of green. It was October 2023, the Eagles riding a streak that felt eternal. And at the heart of it all stood Matt Walsh, the linebacker whose name had become synonymous with grit, with family, with the blue-collar soul of the city. His jersey hung in diner windows. His pregame prayer circles were live-streamed like sermons. On that night, the scoreboard read 31-17 with 2 minutes left, but the real drama unfolded far from the end zone. A local reporter, chasing a tip that began as rumor in a South Philly barbershop, had obtained screenshots, texts glowing on a cracked iPhone screen, time-stamped after midnight, addressed to 3 separate numbers saved only as initials. I can't leave her, but I can't leave you either. The words were Walsh's. The recipients, a college sweetheart who still wore his old high school ring, a sports therapist who traveled with the team, and a journalist who had profiled him months earlier. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Sport Talk content. The whistle blew. Fireworks cracked overhead. Walsh lifted his helmet in that familiar salute, but the gesture faltered, his eyes scanning the stands as if searching for an exit that didn't exist. Cameras caught the tremor in his hand, the way his wife, cradling their toddler on the sideline, turned away before the embrace could complete. In the tunnel, the cheers faded into a hollow echo, replaced by the click of camera shutters and the low murmur of teammates who suddenly couldn't meet his gaze. Then came the moment that froze the internet. As Walsh reached the locker room door, he paused, bowed his head. Not the triumphant bow to the crowd he perfected over a decade, but a private collapse of shoulders, a silent apology to the concrete beneath his cleats. A single tear tracked the war paint on his cheek. Someone's phone captured it in 4K. Within minutes, the clip looped across timelines, slowed to .25 speed, set to piano notes that made strangers weep in grocery store aisles. The stadium emptied, but the story detonated. ESPN cut into primetime programming. Barstool Pods dissected every emoji. A pastor in Scranton quoted Corinthians on Sunday morning. The texts, now verified by metadata, spread like wildfire through group chats and burner accounts. One woman posted a voicemail, Walsh's voice cracking as he whispered, "This life chews up the good parts of us." Another shared a photo of plane tickets he'd bought, then canceled. The third simply wrote, "He told me love was a playbook. I believed him." In the days that followed, the scandal metastasized beyond sports pages. Feminists marched outside the team facility with signs reading, "Accountability isn't a penalty." Veterans of the fan base burned jerseys in parking lot pyres, the smoke curling like question marks into a bruised sky. Yet something stranger emerged. Letters from wives who forgave, from husbands who confessed their own midnight failures, from teenagers who saw in Walsh's fall a warning and a mirror. Cultural fault lines cracked open. Talk shows debated whether celebrity erodes morality or merely exposes it. A philosopher on NPR compared Walsh to Achilles, flawed, furious, human. In dive bars, old men argued that the real betrayal wasn't the affairs but the lie that perfection was required to lead. Someone leaked Walsh's high school yearbook quote, "Leave every room better than you found it." The irony trended for 48 hours. The league suspended him indefinitely. The Eagles released a statement colder than a January playoff wind. His agent stopped answering calls, yet in the quiet of a hotel room in Delaware County, Walsh sat alone with a legal pad, writing letters he might never send. The therapist's note began, "I thought control was strength." The journalist ended, "I weaponized your loneliness." The college sweetheart received only a single line, "You deserved the boy I was before the lights." Social media became a coliseum. Hashtags ward, #cancel Walsh versus #grace for Walsh. A GoFundMe for his wife's chosen charity raised $500,000 in a weekend. Children wore his jersey to school anyway, whispering that heroes bleed. On a podcast, his mother spoke for the first time, voice trembling. He learned toughness from a father who never learned tenderness. That's the cycle we're all trying to break. Walsh himself vanished from public view, spotted only once. walking a deserted beach at dawn, hoodie up, throwing a football to no one. The tabloids called it penance. His former coach called it regrouping. A child's drawing slipped under the team facility gate showed Walsh in crayon green, a broken heart stitched with gold thread. The caption, Kintsugi for linebackers. What does it mean to cheat not just on a vow, but on the story we tell ourselves about who we are? Sports gifts us gods, then demands they remain flawless. Walsh's fall reminds us that the pedestal is made of the same clay as the man. His betrayal wasn't just personal, it was communal, a fracturing in the myth that victory absolves vice. In the silence after scandal, something sacred stirs. Forgiveness isn't erasure, it's excavation. Walsh's text exposed the rot, but the response, raw, contradictory, human, revealed the muscle beneath. We rage because faithfulness still matters. We grieve because loyalty still costs. We watch because we recognize the war inside every locker room, every marriage, every quiet 2 a.m. scroll. The game clock never stops, but character accrues in overtime. Walsh taught a generation to tackle with ferocity. Now he teaches them to rise with humility. The scars will outlive the stats. Long after the records fade, children will ask not how many sacks he recorded, but how deeply he apologized and whether anyone listened. 3 months later, Walsh broke his silence in a dimly lit studio. No sponsor logos, no hype. I built a life on being the strongest man in the room, he said, voice raw from disuse. Turns out the hardest hit is the one you deliver to your own soul. He read from the letters he'd written, pausing when emotion choked the words. I don't get to decide if I'm forgiven. I only get to decide who